What is good, everybody? Thank you yet again for tuning into the channel. I am your boy Zaya X, back again with another video. Social media platforms are represented on the screen, so be sure to follow me on any one of those that you may desire. I'm jumping right into it. We're looking at some body cam footage that just recently got released. When I looked for it, it showed about 6-7 hours. I'm not sure if it's been out longer than that, but this is out of Milwaukee, where there was a fatal shooting involving some police officers that I guess this occurred during a traffic stop of some sorts. And before I jump into the footage, I want to go ahead and get across my point of view as far as police. Now, with all this being said, and I want to state this part first because, you know, obviously there's a lot of people out there that just don't fuck with cops, man. With the whole fuck 12 and fuck po-po and fuck police and fuck po-9 and all that nonsense that you guys be getting off social media and from rappers and stuff like that. And then you go and it's almost like it's instilled in your brain. But you forget that police officers are human beings just like me and you, man. Being a police officer is similar to you waking up and going to work at Walmart or going to work at McDonald's. You know, people are waking up to go to work as police officers, and not all of them are bad. You know what I'm saying? There are a few rotten apples in the bunch that have fucked it up for others. But I feel like with all of the videos that we see, it's just a tiny speck of what's going on. And all across the United States, I'm sure people are being pulled over left and right for things that they did, for crimes that they committed, for traffic infractions that they are responsible for. And some get to go home, some cooperate, some don't cooperate. And, you know, some people get shot for doing stupid shit. Now, I feel like whenever you have a white officer and a black suspect, it's always going to be footage that's sensationalized, which means, you know, it's going to be top of the list to put on World Star and all these sites. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure no one's rushing to put up the footage of the white suspect and the black cop having an issue. But needless to say, to me, it's not always a color thing. It's not always a black thing. It's not always a white thing. It's more just like a you fucked up thing. You know what I'm saying? If you committed a traffic infraction, then, you know, just kind of take that, you know, take that hit, take that L. Especially if you are a criminal of sorts that's in a car. I've noticed that a lot of these scenarios get out of hand because someone's talking too much. Shut the fuck up, man. If you got your woman with you and she's fucking yapping because everyone swears that they know the law when they're about to get arrested or they're about to get a traffic infraction. Everyone swears that they know the law and what they're allowed to do and this, that, and the third. And I'm going to keep my window up and I'm not coming out. Bruh, like, one of the easiest ways to get caught is just by not having ID. And let me tell you something. When a cop says, hey, let me see your identification, I'm happy he's asking for your identification, because who the fuck are you? You might be in my neighborhood. Who knows what you're doing in my neighborhood? So I like when officers ask me for my identification. I show it proudly. Here's my identification. That's me. A working man and a contributing person to society. Now, it doesn't always work that way, man. There's a lot of people that, you know, they run, they get fidgety, they do things that are going to provoke the officer. And something that I feel has been lost is, you know, the fact that it is a job, man. And it's a dangerous job. Imagine, you know, I remember working for the cable company and having 9, 10, 11, 12 jobs a day, 12 different homes that you have to go into. And some of the homes you used to go into, some people were hostile in there. You know what I'm saying? So imagine an officer, your job at any point in time, any one of the calls could be one that could fucking kill you, man. Especially when you're doing something like a traffic stop and a motherfucker's fidgety or he's doing something or he reaches or bruh, listen, again, like I'm saying, you know, it's not, you know, officers are regular people just like everybody else, man. Granted, there are a few bad apples in the bunch, but they're not all bad. So let's try to remember that. So we're jumping straight into this footage, and what had happened was apparently it was a traffic stop, and apparently something was warranted that they needed to get the people out of the car. Now, the passenger is stating that the door doesn't work, so he can't get out through that side. So there's two officers, one on the drivers, one on the passenger. The one on the passenger, I'm almost certain wanted to pull him out the window, which he should have done. But the one on the driver's side gave him the benefit of the doubt, told the young woman to get out, and then proceeded to tell the man to get out. So in him shimmying over, trying to get out to the driver's side, he apparently takes the car and runs. Now, first and foremost, you see the officer that fell? That's not a good look. That is clearly assault on a police officer. You're definitely racking up charges for that. Not only are you racking up that, you're racking up the charge for fleeing. Who knows what else? But so they finally get, you know, their bearing, and they take off after the suspect. Now, what ends up happening is they lose the suspect. And what I'm thinking how this played out was they were able to track where the suspect lived, and then caught up to people that possibly lived in the same home as him, because they're pulling over this SUV now. And during that process that they're pulling over the SUV, they're asking her if she can call for the person to come outside, which I'm thinking is the suspect. So they've come to the conclusion that these two young ladies are associated with the suspect and can possibly draw him out the house by giving him a call. I'm not sure what ends up happening after this, though, because I think what they apparently noticed that there may be someone in the back seat. And you can even clearly see that one of the officers kind of notices, and he does a sign to one of the other officers that there's an issue. So apparently what he does is he asks for the young lady to take the keys out of the ignition, and in that process realizes that there's someone in the back. So now they're getting the door open, and then this is the part. This is it, man. This is the part where most would argue excessive force, yada, yada, yada. But what is a person supposed to do if, you know, the suspect that you're looking for, or you're about to apprehend, is about to come out the backseat with a pistol, bruh? You know what I'm saying? Like, when does it become suitable to respect the fact that it's either his life, the suspect, or it's the police officer's life? And the police officer is doing his job. It's his job to do what they're doing, to catch the suspect, to get him into custody. And for him to now come out of a back seat and put all these people at risk, you know, not to mention the two ladies that are in the vehicle, you know, now who knows what type of charges they're going to face for even having him in the back seat. But you've got all these officers pointing guns at you. You're in the back seat with a gun, you know, and this is where I just cannot accept race as a factor in any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are prepared to die. And this is eventually what ends up happening. The gentleman gets out of the vehicle with a gun in his hand, and he gets shot. Plain and simple. He gets shot. Now, there are a lot of videos out there that, you know, are similar to this, but may depict things a little differently on behalf of the officer. But as I look at this footage right here, that man, you know, he got what he wanted. He wanted to die that day. By some of the actions that he took, the consequences could only be death. That's it. Like, I don't understand what other consequence you thought would come out of this other than death. You know what I'm saying? But it's sad to see when stuff like that goes down, man, because, you know, I don't feel like people really realize that, you know, life is short, man, and life is great. Even when you're doing bad, you know, even when shit's not going your way and it just feels like the whole world's on top of you, guess what? You're still alive, you know, and there's still tomorrow, and there's still the next day. You could turn it around. This gentleman right here, like, you know, who knows what type of charges he already had? Who knows what the scenario well, who knows what the scenario is? Again, this footage is early. Where I'm just seeing it now, and I believe it's tagged August 13th of 2018. But everywhere I looked for it, it showed that it had been uploaded within the last 6 to 8 hours. So this might just be body cam footage that's finally getting released after they did an investigation and all that. Now, I would definitely like everyone's comments below. I'm sure I'm going to get people that are anti-police officer. That's perfectly fine. I don't have no problem with you. I welcome all the savages to get their savagery on in the comments. No one will be blocked. You are allowed to state what you would like to state. My whole thing is that before you jump down the throat of a police officer, pause. Before you oh, fuck 5-0 and this, that, and the third, and before you hit me with the officer that did you wrong 2 years ago, just remember that not every officer's like that, man. This is a job for some people, man. And, you know, just like I appreciate my life and I want to come home to my girl and this family of mine, I'm sure that people out there that are police officers just want to do the same thing, man. They just want to do their job and go home to their family. And situations like this put everyone at risk. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if he would have just came out blazing, shooting? You know, there's houses everywhere. This is in a residential area. He could have killed someone. When he stole that car and went on the speed chase, he could have ran a red light and ran someone over, crashed into someone, killed someone, caused damage. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of people that we don't need in society. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to sound that way. But, you know, whoever he was, then, you know, I'm sorry. Good riddance, man. Good riddance. You know, every decision you made on this day put everyone at risk and put everyone in harm's way. So who could only imagine if you wouldn't have got caught? Who would have known what you would have done tomorrow, the next day, it's just not worth it, man. So definitely good job on behalf of the police officers. That little exchange where they were trying to get him out the driver's side, I don't know if I want to give a good job on that. That was pretty risky, especially with the keys still being in the ignition. It just went really bad really quick. But thankfully, hopefully, none of those police officers were seriously injured, and hopefully everyone went home safely. Leave me again your comments below. Let me know what you think on this footage. Let me know what you think on police officers in general. If you're for, if you're against. Again, no comments will be deleted and no comments will be blocked. Not by me, of course. Now, if you do some shit that YouTube blocks you, that ain't my problem. That ain't my fault. So besides that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Interesting footage. Would love to hear you guys' take on it. Leave a comment below. And with that being said, I'm going to move on to the next topic, next video. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Everybody stay up, stay fresh. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.